Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. On today's Explain episode, I'll be talking about the OG Chinese dish, the fried rice. We're not only going to talk about the original fried rice, but also the most famous type of fried rice in Asia, as well as all the knowledge and tips that you need to know to master your fried rice skill. So without further ado, let's get into it. Hi new friends, this is Erica right here. I'm a Taiwanese citizen currently living in America. Cooking and traveling is my passion, so I'm here to share with you my favorite Asian recipes. On top of that, all my videos cover a little food knowledge and the history background of the dish, as well as a Chinese lesson at the end of the video. So if that interests you, please subscribe and keep watching. Guys, seriously, how can we be a channel that talk about Asian cuisine but never make fried rice before? I know, it's my bad. But today, we're gonna explain all you need to know about this classic Chinese takeout dish, and I'll also teach you how to make your own fried rice. If you can make it at home, don't ever order a $12 takeout from a Chinese restaurant. It's just not worth it. But definitely don't underestimate this simple recipe because there's actually a lot of tips and knowledge you need to know about rice to make a perfect fried rice. There's a lot to cover, so let's just get straight into it. Due to the ancient documents, fried rice was first developed during the Sui dynasty in China around 1500 years ago. And as such, all fried rice dishes can trace their origin back to the Chinese fried rice. Traditionally, Southeast Chinese like their rice plain, as a base staple to eat with their vegetables and meat dishes. So some people believe that the rise of fried rice in the civilian class has started as a way to accommodate leftover. Back in the day when there's no refrigerator, the leftover from the day before has already passed its prime, but it's still good to consume and it's too good to feed to the animal. So they find out a way to reuse all these leftover to make it a new dish on the second day, which they stir fry them all together and add in some seasonings such as soy sauce, garlic, and lard. Over time, this awesome technique of dealing with leftover has spread from the eastern China to other rice farming cultures such as the East and Southeast Asia. Here I picked some very famous Asian fried rice dishes that you either might heard of it before or you will want to try in the future one day. There are so many different types of fried rice that I can't mention it all together today. So if I didn't mention your favorite fried rice from Asia, please don't be angry at me, but just leave a comment down below and let me know. I would really want to learn what's your favorite. First, let's talk about the Chinese culture fried rice. The most famous Chinese fried rice is no doubt but the Yangzhou Chao Fan. Yangzhou fried rice. The classic Yangzhou fried rice have a very special egg texture. The egg will have to be fried in the spinning oil to create a special filaments texture that is almost as thin as your hair. The rice gotta be shiny and almost transparent, and it will be stir fried all together with the sea cucumber, ham, mushroom, English pea, and also the bamboo shoot. The history of Yangzhou fried rice is a little complicated, but simply put, it's a Guangzhou dish that been named by Yangzhou and got famous in Hong Kong. But the takeaway here is that Yangzhou fried rice is actually the most famous Chinese fried rice that you have to try one day. Next is the Hokkien fried rice. Hokkien is actually a province of China, which in Mandarin we call it Fujian. And there's actually a lot of Taiwanese people are the new generation of Fujian people that immigrated to Taiwan a long time ago. Some people believe that this dish was originated from Taiwan, and some other people believe that it's from Hong Kong. But this dish are normally seen in the Hong Kong restaurants. The special thing about Hokkien fried rice is that most of the ingredients come together with the lightly braised stew that is then poured over on the wok fried rice. So this is basically a combination of wet and dry, and that gave the fried rice an extra unique taste. And the last one I want to mention in the Chinese fried rice category is the Sichuan fried rice. This is for the lover of all things hot and spicy, such as myself, so here you go. The ingredient has been put into almost all Sichuan dishes, will obviously be in their fried rice as well, the famous douban sauce. It is so famous that you can even get it in the Western supermarket here in the US and the Asian aisle. Besides sauce, they're normally stir-fried with the preserved meat and have a more heavy taste to it, just like all the other Sichuan dishes. Now let's talk about the fried rice in East Asia. The most famous Korean fried rice will be the kimchi bokkeumbap, if I pronounced that right. If wrong, I'm sorry. I googled the translation, it literally means the kimchi fried rice. The kimchi bokkeumbap have the spice and tangy vinegar combined with the butter and sesame oil and are normally sprinkled with seaweed and stir-fried with fried spam. And in Japan, Omurice is unquestionably the champion of fried rice category. The tomato-flavored fried rice covered with the soft-cooked omelet and topped with ketchup or mayonnaise dressing is popular with both home-cooked meals and diners. Last but not least, the Nasi Goreng will be the representative of Malaysia, Singapore, and Indonesia fried rice. The Nasi Goreng is actually very different from the Eastern fried rice because of its earthy and smoky aroma. The main sauce that they use to marinate their meats for fried rice is the dark sweet soy sauce. And besides that, a lot of time they also add in the shrimp paste, so that gave it a really strong flavor. And sometimes they also add in the caramelized cashew that make the rice not just creamy, but also crunchy. So here you go, these are the 6 most famous fried rice in Asia. If I didn't mention your favorite, definitely leave a comment down below. And now let's get into the fried rice technique and tips part. The most important part of the good fried rice is the rice. You need to be able to see the individual rice in your fried rice that is all separated. If you've ever seen a fried rice that is so moist and gooey that all the rice are stick together like a ball, that's definitely a no-no right there. So to get the perfect moisture of your rice, there's actually 3 different types of ways you can prepare your rice. You've probably already heard people talking about how you have to use the leftover rice to cook fried rice. That is simply because the moisture control of your rice is the key to a good fried rice. Keeping the soft and moist rice in the fridge overnight, that will take away the moisture and give you the texture you need to stir fry. If you're using this method, you gotta make sure that you reheat the rice before cooking so the rice is not all sticking together like a ball, or else it's gonna be really hard to separate them in the wok if the rice is cold. This will not just only cold off your wok and make it sticky, it could probably make your rice unevenly cooked. Especially when you add in soy sauce, the outside of the sticky rice ball will have the soy sauce and the inside will be white. That is not good. And to be honest, I'm not really a big fan of this technique besides if I'm actually cooking leftover, because this method is basically telling me that I had to prepare my rice the day before, which a simple fried rice should be just simple, right? If you want to fry rice right away, this method is just not gonna work. So that brings us to our second method, which is the choice of rice. There's many different types of rice and kind of rice and brand of rice you can find in the market, but if you just want to simply separate it into 2 categories, there's short grain and long grain rice. The short grain rice typically has a more moist texture after cooking, like the Japanese sushi rice. So the easiest way to make sure that your rice is not too moist, just simply pick the long grain rice, such as the Thailand jasmine rice or the Indian basmati rice. Choosing the long grain rice can really higher your success rate, but at the same time, your fried rice will be on more of a dry end. So this led us to the last option of making rice for your fried rice, the moist control. In the Chinese culture and Japanese culture, we tend to eat more short grain rice. It's not just because we're born and grow up with it, but also the rice is more soft, moist, and fluff. And now I'm gonna teach you how to make your rice right before you're gonna cook your fried rice and using the short grain rice. Most of the time when we're cooking the rice in our rice cooker, the water and rice ratio will be 1.6 to 1 or 1.5 to 1. The reason why we add in so much water is because we want the rice to absorb as much water as it could, so it creates that fluffy, moist texture. So on the other hand, if you want to make the rice a little bit drier, just lower the water ratio will do. So simply just changing the water and rice ratio to 1 to 1, that basically will give you a perfect moisture for your fried rice. Personally, I like to season my rice a little bit while steaming, so I'll add in 1 tablespoon of rice wine. The rice wine not just gonna make the rice smells good, but also gonna increase its fluffiness. And now I'm gonna add in a 1/3 teaspoon of salt and 1 teaspoon of olive oil. When the rice is done, open the lid and turn off the rice cooker. We don't want the keep warm option on either. Give your rice a little flip to let out the heat and steam. Around 5 minutes is enough to let it cool down. We want the warm rice but not steaming hot rice. Look at the rice. It's really fluff but not too moist. You can see that the rice are all separated even before frying. So now you know how to make the perfect rice for your fried rice. Let's use a very simple Chinese egg soy sauce fried rice recipe to teach you some basic knowledge of fried rice and also the tip to fried rice. So here's all the ingredients that we'll need for today's fried rice recipe. In most of Chinese fried rice, we use lard as the oil base because it can give the fried rice some great flavor and aroma. But if you don't want to use lard, you can totally use sesame oil or even olive oil. And today I'm going to be using the sesame oil. And obviously we'll need some rice. Here are the 2 cups of short grain white rice that we cooked earlier with the 1-to-1 ratio of water. And we need some diced onions, scallion, and minced garlic. And we'll put in 3 eggs for today's fried rice. So for the seasoning, we'll need some soy sauce, salt, and pepper powder. As usual, the actual amount will be in the description box down below. First thing we want to do is heat up the wok and add in 2 tablespoons of lard or vegetable oil or sesame oil like what I'm using today. When the oil is heated up, add in the non-beaten eggs and we'll use the circular motion to beat the eggs in the wok. This step is to let the yolk and egg white fry separately. It will not just smell great but also give you more layer of taste. Keep stir frying so the eggs all dry out and it turns into almost like a flaky kind of texture. And now you can add in the onion and garlic. Just simply stir fry for around 20 seconds to heat up the ingredient, then we can add in our warm rice. Here's the most important part. We want to use the heat of the wok to take away more moisture out of the rice and also separate each individual rice. So what we want to do is to use the flat side of the spatula to gently separate the rice if you see any rice balls. It's kind of like skating. Just put your spatula on top of the rice and move it left to right, but don't push too hard because the last thing you want is some smushed broken rice. With the heat and our perfect moisture rice, it should be very easy to do. The whole frying process, we need to make sure that we're keep flipping and stirring the rice. Never let the rice sit on the pan without moving for more than 3 seconds. So now you see all the rice are separated, turn the heat off or move your pan onto the side and add in the salt and pepper. Now back on the heat and mix the seasoning in with a few stir and add in the soy sauce from the side of the wok. Very important, from the side of the wok. We want the soy sauce to touch the wok right away to activate the sauce. It's not just gonna smell better, but it's also easier to mix into the rice evenly. Keep stir frying until the color is all even on the fried rice and add in the scallion. Give it a few more flips and you're done. Look at this. This is exactly the result you want. Fluff rice with perfect seasoning. Beautiful color and tastes amazing as well. Even though the name of the dish is soy sauce fried rice, we're just using a soy sauce for a hint of flavor and a little coloring. The saltiness are controlled by the salt, but not soy sauce. If you use all soy sauce, the flavor will be way too strong and also the color will not be as appetizing. I bet you have gone to some Chinese restaurant and saw the fried rice is super dark. If that's what you prefer, obviously you can add in more soy sauce instead of salt. But me personally, I like my rice to keep the original color, so I'll use more salt and a little bit soy sauce just for a tiny coloring. I think this is the perfect color for my fried rice, at least this is what I've seen back home. Just learn a few key points of frying rice will give you huge difference as a result. Now, let's enjoy our dish and learn some Chinese. The word of the day today is 炒饭, fried rice. The first character we learned several times before is 炒. That means stir fry. And the second word, 饭, means rice. So stir fry rice is fried rice. 炒饭. Thank you for watching the video to the end. Let me know if you like the Explain series by giving this video a thumbs up. It's only going to take you a second, but it means a lot to me. I make a video on YouTube every Thursday, so remember to hit that bell and you'll never miss out. Last but not least, don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you next Thursday.